Legions of Thyatis, the sequel to Arena of Thyatis, both by John Nephew, is a logical conclusion or expansion of adventuring within the Empire. Once again, the main protagonist is the corrupt senator Thyatis Austeropolis, who hatches another plot with a mysterious new villain named Wastur. To give some context to this meeting of the senator and the new villain Wastur, I want to read you their meeting the module gives called The Night Visitor. A sharp knock on the door roused the imperial senator from his slumber. He rose from his bed and walked to the door while calling out, "Friedrich, is that you? What in Vanya's name inspires you to disturb me at this hour?" But when he opened the door, it was not the steward, whose greeting was to fall face forward upon him. It was in fact a bloody corpse, the corpse of his courier, spy and parasite, torn and mutilated almost beyond recognition. When I ask to meet a man personally, I do not appreciate a worthless lackey instead. Thyatis trembled and looked up to see a human figure. "Thyatis Austeropolis, I presume?" The stranger held out his hand. "Who are you? How did you get in here?" "I'm sorry, Senator, but your guards do not present much of an obstacle. My name is Wastur. From your late servant, I gathered that you did indeed receive my message." "Yes," acknowledged the senator, standing up. "But I am not of the habit of simply attending meetings proposed by complete strangers and under suspicious circumstances." Wastur smiled. "I was not surprised. Indeed, I was pleased to have a response at all." He waved at the corpse. "Pitiful though it was, it gave me the opportunity to come here directly and demonstrate the seriousness of my intentions." "And just what are those?" Wastur smiled. "Ah, Senator, I can see already that we will work well together. There is unrest in Thyatis. It's not easy to see. Your Senate and Emperor do not realize it, even you most probably do not, though you abide near the heart of it. But fearsome signs show that there is a storm brewing, a wave of strife welling up from the depths of the city. Senator, I am here to offer you a way to profit from the turbulent times ahead. I know of your greed, your lack of scruples, but what I can offer you goes beyond the petty wealth you've let seen. Even the imperial throne will look pale." Thyatis cast a glance down at the body soiling his floor tiles with blood. Scornfully, he pushed it aside with his foot. He looked back at Wastur and smiled. "Well, my new friend," he gestured broadly, "won't you step in? I think I should like to hear your proposal in more detail." The adventure can start anywhere in the city the party chooses to go, as long as you have an encounter with a huge orc named Yalag. This massive orc should very much stick out in a city inhabited by mostly humans. I would make his presence well known, not just because he's an orc, but his size and gladiator status should be menacingly obvious. People giving a wide distance when he lumbers through a crowd but staring in awe. Or women throwing flower petals before his feet. In other words, make this orc a not to be fucked with kind of dude. Yalag is the trainer of the gladiators and member of the Order of the Sands, a fighters organization. If you plan on running the first module Arena of Thyatis, I would make this gladiator NPC known to the characters before their first fight in the arena. He could be their trainer or something. The Order of the Sands interests in pressuring the organizers of gladiatorial contests to keep them fair and competitive. It also makes sure that owners of slave gladiators allow them to buy their freedom. Owners who cheat their slaves or take from them the presents thrown by the crowd may find themselves roughed up and intimidated. Contest organizers who don't keep enough clerics on hand to deal with injuries have the same problems. Yalag will request to talk with them at his quarters in the Colosseum to help misused and maltreated gladiators by certain individuals. Senator Thyatis Austeropolis and his sorceress Elimeleda if she's still alive from the first module, can be mentioned as bad actors in this role-played conversation. During the conversation, another gladiator will bursts into Yalag's quarters, reporting the gladiators' refusal to fight in protest against their abuse, and someone has released all the monsters. By the time the PCs get out to see what's happening, the 14th Imperial Legion has shown up, and it's attacking the monsters, gladiators, and any spectators who haven't already dispersed. Player characters can attempt to fight, but it's clear that the normal exits are blocked, and the party can't take on an Imperial Legion. Yalag warns the PCs of this and will shout for them to flee into the catacombs. If the PCs don't take his advice and fight it out with the Legion, this is where the module ends, in my opinion. A TPK is in order. The struggle is futile, and flight is their only hope for survival. The following is a list of progressively more difficult encounters. Legionaries, Hellhounds, Owlbear, Giant, Scorpion, Manticore. Low-level PCs should know when to run at some point. The only option will be the catacombs. If you feel like this is railroading them, my reply to this is, it's a game, get the over it. Within the catacombs, which are under the city itself, and below the caverns of the Colosseum from the first module, the PCs will encounter a number of curiosities. The catacombs have been dug beneath Thyatis City since the century before the crowning of the first emperor. I think of the catacombs under Paris, for example, unmappable after a certain point, and getting lost should be easy. I wouldn't use north, south, east, west directions, just straight right, left, if a character chooses to map. There's the usual encounters: rats, centipedes, undead, maybe another fleeing gladiator to beef up the party if one of them was killed earlier. But the few interesting ones may help the party in the future of this adventure. The Austeropolis family tomb will have the usual burial room of hand cut out hollows called laculae into the wall to lay the deceased, except for one that's empty, that could be destined for Hellenites. It looks as if it were formed naturally into the rock wall standing upright in the shape of a goblet. This is the symbol of Lokar, an immortal. This will be important later as it pertains to the night visitor. Have the PCs encounter an area in which they hear scraping and muffled shouts, as though someone inside were trying to get out. If they dig out the wall, they'll find a man buried alive behind it. Friedrich Lagmann is his name, and was the steward of Senator Hellenite's mansion. Friedrich was caught eavesdropping on a conversation between Hellenites and Wastur. The senator decided a snooping steward was too much of a risk. Hellenites had Friedrich drugged and then buried alive. He's more than willing to do what he can to harm his treacherous ex-employer. His knowledge may be damning of the senator's wrongdoing, as he overheard all of Hellenites and Wastur's plans. Two other encounters with NPCs have more knowledge about the senator and can aid the PCs if they choose to follow that route. Otherwise, it's a dungeon delve nonetheless. If the party finds a way out of the catacombs, impress upon the characters while they're recovering that the captured surviving gladiator's fate is a trial. If the PCs refuse to help them, make it known through an NPC. The senator has spies everywhere and probably knows your group survived. Have assassins come to kill them, or a beloved NPC like the Orc Yalag get a note to the party asking for help. With their incriminating evidence against the senator, they should be able to make a case to the authorities, free the remaining gladiators, and get a personal audience with the emperor. The way I like to run trials, or when dealing with kings, queens, or in this module emperors, is to usually have the party choose a character to plead a case and then roll for reactions. Charisma is not a dump stat in my game. Adding witnesses or any evidence backing the character's argument will give bonuses to the roll. I feel letting the dice have some say in the outcome is fun and can keep the players on edge. Wastur. This servant of Lokar plays a behind-the-scenes role in this adventure. Wastur will not interact directly with the characters here, and it will be some time before they can seriously challenge him. This dude is a 24th level magic user and can be the catalyst for the guy behind it all type of campaign. His background is really detailed in this module and can and should be sprinkled in here and there throughout the adventure. In my opinion, these two modules, Arena of Thyatis and Legions of Thyatis, should be run almost simultaneously. It overlaps when dealing with its main protagonist, Hellenites Austeropolis, and the NPCs in the second module are very helpful and should have been added to the first. Overall, reading these two modules was a delight, and I found myself acting out as if I were DMing them in real time. I plan on running these two adventures in the future and would love to know if any of you guys have and what you thought. Both these modules get a solid recommendation and are very good for beginning DMs to sharpen his or her improv and roleplay skills. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.